Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Youth Australia podcast. Oh
Woo,
dear,
come on.
we are so glad to be back with you guys. Last week was amazing and we're really excited to be doing this again. Today, once again, we have our amazing hosts. We've got Ethan.
Come on.
We've got Levi.
Where you g'day?
And we've got Riley.
Hey. Yeah.
And I'm Joel, and we are the Youth Australia podcast. Now, we have a few announcements, first of all, about what's been going on with Youth Australia.
Come on. So, Youth Australia, we're back at it. So good to have you here with us. Whether you're in bed, in the lounge room with your family, or just chilling on your phone wherever you are at work or so forth. Thank you for tuning in. We're so thankful for you to be here. So, announcements. So, a lot of you may or may not know, we do have a Minecraft server. It's an area where we all can connect in a safe environment and just have a bunch of fun with each other. And one of the game modes we have on the server is Hunger Games. What that means is pretty much it's player versus player fighting. Pretty much the survival games. If you've seen the Hunger Games movie, you'll know what this is. Pretty much we've added some more maps. Nathan, one of our awesome admins, he built a whole new map. He themed it. It looks sick. So go check that out. And coming this week on the website, we have our Youth Australia mission and vision going up live. So expect to see that by the end of this week. So currently the website is offline, but it will be up at the end of the week when we put them up. Let's look forward to that.
Awesome. I'm so keen to play on that new map.
Oh, it's a good map.
Oh, I'm terrible at PvP, but
it's good fun.
Nice. Well, we are all on Zoom today because we're still in quarantine. Corona is still happening here in Australia. Some restrictions are easing, which is really good. But still, it's good to stay home and be careful with what's going on. One of the things that a lot of people are struggling because we are in isolation and we are away from other people. We're not visiting friends. People are struggling with loneliness, with a lot of stress, wondering how they can maintain relationships, how things can sort of continue at the moment. And I'm just wondering what you guys sort of think of that and what your experience has been.
Yeah, cool. I'll start because these guys, we're all darting around the screen like who's saying. Yeah, I'll start. So isolation's it's been pretty tough. I haven't been working at all because our store closed. So I've just been stuck at home this entire time. And for me, I've got a few family members that would get really sick if I got corona. So I've been not just at home, but I've been stuck in my room for the last couple of weeks just to make sure that I don't have it.
Yeah.
So being stuck in your room for 2 weeks straight is pretty tough. It's very lonely, but having some good friends online really helped there. So yeah.
Yeah, with isolation, how it's had a toll. I am a very outgoing person, so I love being with groups of people. So people say I'm an extrovert, people say I'm an introvert. I'm one of the people in the middle who enjoy the personal time by yourself, but also love being in groups of people in a community. And so not being able to congregate at church or a youth group, just the small things that we sometimes take for granted, it definitely takes a toll when it's taken away. And then you have to find different ways to, connect with people. So overall, it has definitely been a interesting, interesting, there we go, journey to go on just throughout this entire time. obviously having good friends to connect with on technology is awesome, but nothing can actually beat being with them in person. So yeah, it's definitely taken a bit of a toll, but you go past it, you know, you build. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with what you said, Ethan. And I'm definitely in the same kind of boat. I'm like a bit of an ambivert. So love peace and
I
quiet
love
to
that.
myself. Hey, it's great. But like at the same time, definitely during the lockdown especially, definitely do get lonely at times. But I'm so thankful that we have amazing technology at our hands, like Google Meet or Skype or FaceTime or Zoom, that allows us to still connect with everyone, even in our own homes. And it's still definitely not the same feeling as actually being with someone. But it's really good to know that you can still talk to people somewhat face to face. But yeah, and I think everyone's been doing it tough. Even the hardcore introverts have been doing it pretty tough. So everyone's in the same boat together. But thankfully, we've got the restrictions lifting to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I totally get that. One of the things for me is that I would say, like, as a Christian, I'm a very extroverted Christian in that the way that I like to outwork my faith and like express my faith is through meeting with other people, praying with other people, encouraging people, that sort of stuff. More than like solo prayer and stuff. So like that for me has been tough, not being able to go to church and having those connections with people and stuff. How have you guys? Well, so you guys mentioned like technology and social media. What stuff have you guys found that's been helpful for you in terms of maintaining those connections with people? How have you done that?
Well, big part of it is just like we currently are doing, being face to face via Zoom. Great platform. Didn't know much about it before all this, so it's a blessing that it's come up to our knowledge. But also like Youth Australia, the Discord that we have, just being able to connect with different people in the voice calls and things like that on that server. Yes, that's a plug, but also it's true because it's a platform where we can communicate and connect with each other and, you know, do things that, in all honesty, we may not have been able to do if we didn't have this whole situation appear. So
I was just about to say the exact same thing, Ethan.
great minds think alike.
But Discord has been great because you can just hop on and see like who's online or who isn't, and just easily either start talking to whoever you want there, or you can join a voice chat, or just chill out and listen to some music with people. And it's been really handy because it's just, you can instantly like just start talking to people wherever, whenever, without any effort. And it's just been really good.
Yeah. I also found Discord to be really just like a great platform, even if no one's online. Like you can chuck a few memes in the chat, you know. And later on, you'll see
24/7
like
worship.
all the comments.
Hey.
Oh yeah, no. I've been in 24/7 worship a few times now. It's been good fun there. It's always great when you see someone else in the 24/7 worship and you join it. And even though you can't talk to them in that chat, you're like, yeah, we're vibing together. You know?
We're vibing. Yeah, well, I mean, like, so I've never actually met you, Riley, in person, but you know, through the Discord and all of that, it's been really amazing to connect, and you know,
that's true. I always forget that like a lot of the guys I've met on there, I feel like I've been friends for so long, but we haven't actually met in person, which is a strange feeling. But yeah, that's so good.
I mean, that's one of the great things that I found with Youth Australia and the platform that's there is that there are so many good people on there, and it's very easy to connect with them. And you know, I've definitely made a bunch of really good friends and been able to really reconnect with older friends since then. So yeah, it's been an amazing platform and what of that. And also sort of interesting, sort of because of the time and we're sort of all forced to be at home and stuff, you know, some of the distractions of life and things, especially because it's been school holidays recently, you know, I've been spending way more time chatting to people and trying to really connect with people than even I would normally when it's face to face, because stuff gets busy and, you know, you got things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think this whole season it's been like, obviously there's been a massive negative aspect to it. Like there's sadly been people that have passed, which is obviously sad naturally. But like, I think there's a massive positive aspect where, you know, the things that we said that we didn't have enough time to do, like, or that we said we didn't have enough time to do them as an excuse, that this time's actually forced us to realize that, hey, hold up, I actually do have time for us to actually do that now. And I think, going off of what Joel said, like the communication side of things, like I don't think I'd ever stay up till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning just talking to the boys if none of this happened. And so I think it's been a really part of this whole like situation. It's been a big blessing in disguise for like relationships wise.
There's been some pretty good chats going down at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah.
It always gets really real about that sort of 12
It
to
does.
1 a.m.
You're all
kind of.
tired, you're all vulnerable, and you're like, hey, listen, I just need to say something.
Yeah.
That's where it gets to it.
It's really good though.
It really is.
Yeah, no, that's so good. Yeah, it's interesting time. And the other thing that's been interesting recently is I think for all of us, we've gone back to, I'm back at school, you guys are back at the courses that you were doing. And sort of it's a bit interesting getting back into that in terms of doing online classes now. You know, I know you guys have had assessments on recently. I've got some assessments due next week, and you know, they're quite stressful. How have you guys been going with that?
Yeah, I'll go. That's the best moment to look at the screen. Like,
It is.
Yeah. I'll take it. It's like when you close your eyes in prayer and everyone's praying. You're like, no one's saying anything. No one's saying anything. My turn. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, group prayer sessions are so stressful sometimes.
They are. First of all, you have to think, okay, don't mess up. What do you go say? I know what I'm going to say. All right, when am I going to say it? No one's saying no, say anything. Dear God, it's and someone else says it at the same time. You're like, oh, no. Darn it.
So accurate.
But yeah, it's been pretty hard because us three, Riley, Ethan, and I would meet up for our course at our church, and that was awesome. Like, it was a good way to connect. And now we're online with everyone else, so it's less connection during the course. But as far as going online, it's not that big a difference for us because a lot of our course had online people anyway. So it's gone from a few people in the classroom watching the screen online to us just watching the screen at home. Yeah. So it's not a massive difference. It's just about connecting with each other, I guess. Although some have said that they reckon we've gotten a bit closer because we have it more face-to-face online.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, to add to that, I think a big part of it also with like the transition from obviously us being in the classroom and doing the course and now needing to do it like on Google Meets or Zoom. I think a big part of it is like we've been able to connect with a lot more like people across a larger platform. So like we've been having calls with some different pastors over in America and things like that. But also we've been able to unite all like the Youth Alive academy students in a one call, which we wouldn't usually have necessarily done. But like, I'm a practical learner, so I personally don't really like using technology to talk to people like or learn, because I'm a real face-to-face practical person. So definitely influences how like assessments go and things like that when you're not necessarily at your like peak of learning, I guess you could say. And there's the distractions around you when you're at home, especially trying to do assessments. And so that doesn't help too much.
No, I'm in the same boat as you, Ethan. Like, I am not really enjoying the face to computer screen type situation. If my parents ever heard me that, they'd say a whole bunch of points that they've been saying for the past couple of years. But yeah, no, I'm more of like, as you said, like a practical type learner. And so I've been finding it pretty difficult to learn, just sitting here all day, watching someone on the screen. And I've being in my own home all the time in my own room, I found it so easily to be distracted, especially during those assessments. We had 2 assessments due, and like I tried working on it for the past 2 weeks, and I just couldn't get anything done. I was getting distracted by the simplest little things. And so I had to end up doing them both in the last like 2 days before they were due.
2 days,
yeah. But yeah, it's been very hard and getting very easily distracted. So definitely can't wait for it to go back to normal, back to the classroom.
Hey, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I'm okay with the online learning. I was homeschooled for a bit, so I sort of got used to that kind of online kind of learning style. But it's still, there's something about being in the classroom with the teacher and with your peers and stuff that's hard to beat for sure. And one thing that I found that like you, Riley, the assessments are just like, and they're piling up for me. Like, I've got business studies assessments that are just, like I've got an actual assessment but then I've got homework that's due, and it's like, which do I do? And so it's, it's a bit of a stressful time in terms of that. And then adding on Corona as well. What do you guys think about assessment stress and stuff like that? Because it's, some people are more sort of, it'll be fine and get it done. Some people get really stressed about assessments. Where do you guys sit in that, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, look, I think a big part of it is if you have an assessment coming up and you know about it, try and get it done early. Like, I think that's definitely one big thing the 3 of us, myself, Levi, and Riley, have realized very recently is that if you leave something to the last minute, you become a lot more stressed about it. And your like overview of the whole assessment becomes a lot more like questioning, I guess you could say. And you may not understand it as like straightforward as it is. And so I think a big part of it, like if you do leave it later, which is, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I suggest to do it earlier, is just try and beforehand have like some time where you can do something that you enjoy, just to clear your mind about it. And then like take it in segments, like do 1 hour of study and assessment work, then take a break. Take some time with your family or have a chat with a friend, and just have a break from technology pretty much. Eat food, water, stay hydrated. That's a big part of it. So then you don't get exhausted or tired from it. Like we all love coffee, but it's not the best for assessment work. Let's be real. But I think a big part for me personally is just narrowing my mind down to it, saying, okay, I'm going to allocate this time for my assessment. And by the end of that time, if I'm not done, I'm going to still have a break and then come back to do it afterwards. just so then your mind's not racing too much and you're still actually staying healthy, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I think the other thing with that is leaving an assignment later also makes you rush a bit more.
Yeah.
So all your answers in that assignment seem a bit more rushed. And I found that with my last assessment, I didn't get as good a grade as I probably could have because there was a few spelling mistakes just because I was rushing it, like day before, night before, day of.
Day of.
And
We won't go there.
Pretty much, I have the worst habit of leaving assessments late all through school, all
Feel
13 years of schooling. I've been leaving assessments. Like last week, I go, you know what, I'll get started on that now. It's never been good. If you guys in year 11 and 12 have done society and culture, the bigger interest project at the halfway through the year, it's like 5,000 words or something. I did it all pretty much the week before. Most of it, about 4,000 words the night and the day of the assignment being due.
That's impressive.
I got it done. Didn't do it good, but I got it done. And it's not a very good habit at all. It's been awful. But so yeah, leaving it late, as Ethan said, don't like start it instantly just because we're saying don't. It will be stressful, but don't leave it too late either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that helps me, because there are obviously different types of learning out there for everyone, and everyone's different. But something that helps me, which my sister taught me, was just to, because sometimes assessments can be really overwhelming and really like they want you to do this, and it can just really seem overwhelming. So something that helped me was just to break it down to start off with. So usually when I first get the assessment, I'll find the question or what the assessment is looking for, and then kind of break it down into a simple plan. So for example, one of the assessments the Academy guys had to do recently was a diagrammatic summary, which is basically which was basically a summary of a diagram of a theme in the Bible. And if you didn't hear the boys before, it was pretty redonkulous at times. But and I was like really confused.
Chats for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I was really confused and overwhelmed by it, but I just tried my best to break it down to what the question was asking and break it down to a simple plan, and like kind of starting with subheadings or like dot points of what you want to talk about, and then get your basic info and sources into those subpoints, and then you just elaborate, and that's where you reach your word count from. And that's where like your slab of information comes from. So, but yeah, it definitely does help to start early and just slowly make progress, not leaving it all to the end. As we found out at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
it was an interesting week last week. Well, this week.
Well, is it? Yeah. I totally feel that. When I did design tech a couple of years ago for HSC, I did my major design project folio 3 nights before it was due.
Legend.
Wow.
That's wow.
Yeah, it was 3 no, it's not worthy. It's not worthy of that. It was bad. But yeah, it was 3 full nights, and I was so knackered. It was ridiculous. I went the entire day, then all the night, and don't do that. But like I'm a bit of a procrastinator, quite a bit of a procrastinator. But the interesting thing that I find about procrastination, for myself at least, is that when I try and space stuff out, I find it hard for my brain to get into the gear of actually working. It's only sort of when that like stressful deadline comes up, then it's like, radio, we got to
Pressure.
Yeah. No, exactly. And the other thing is, it's almost like sometimes the procrastination is part of the process in terms of actually you think about the assessment, you sort of go over it in your mind, or not even assessment. This happens for me with other stuff, and then once it gets to that pressure point, then you're able to just bust it out because you've had that sort of pre-preparation. But obviously, that's not sustainable in the long run. So one of the things that I've been doing this year is actually to set myself a deadline before the actual deadline.
Yeah, that's good.
So that sort of
That's smart.
yeah. So I still have that sort of pressure and stuff that I find that I almost need in order to pump the workout. But then I have another week or 3 days to look over it and go, you know what was I thinking there? And sort of edit it and go through. And I've found that very helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
In terms of your sort of general day-to-day life, what do you guys do to sort of manage stress and keep from getting overwhelmed, whether it's with work or with school or...
Who's gonna do it? Well, let me tell you. Alrighty.
We really need to work on that, guys.
We need like a set schedule.
We do. Yeah, go on.
No, like, I think good sleep. That's a big part. I mean, I know a lot of us may not get it. And I don't want to say like doctors and all that are wrong with 8 hours or saying 10 hours that we need that much sleep. But I think if you're getting at least 5 to 6 hours minimum sleep, try and have that as a routine. Like maybe on the weekends. Weekend. It's all good. But I think having a good sleep, especially if, like, for me, I work 3 days a week and then I have college the rest of the week. I think on those nights that I do have work the next morning, just getting a good night's sleep. I find having a drink of water as well before I go to bed. That helps me wake up a lot more refreshed the next morning. Crazy, I know. It works. But just having a good night's sleep, exercise. So I have a gym set up here at home. So do that every now and then just to keep your body healthy. And just spending time with family and friends as well. Whether that, like, at the moment, obviously visually spending time, but also with your family when you can. So that just fills your bucket. We all know the bucket saying from school. So, you know, you want to fill your bucket with positive thoughts and let it overflow of those positive thoughts into other people. So yeah.
Good.
That's awesome.
I'll go.
Riley?
No, I'll take it. Yeah, so as Ethan said, spending time with friends and family is really important. Like, it's a good time to just kind of switch off, not think about any of the daily stress you're going through, and just talk with them, have some fun. Like, as we've said before, we have a Minecraft server. Jumping on that with the boys, so much fun. And
Great stuff.
although we've had some stressful times on there, but it's still been.
We won't speak about those.
Right. And yeah, it's just like during this time especially, there's a lot of thoughts that go in your mind about Riley. There's a lot of stressful thoughts that go through your mind about like where we're heading as a country. And so having like friends to just talk that through with and kind of even vent your like problems is really good, I find. And like, as I was saying, we're doing all assessments up all these mornings, and we've all been sitting there going, "Listen, guys, I don't get it." And even that small little like complain is like the little arguments you have between yourselves, like I can't do it, and then your friend's like, nah, we've got this. A term that's been going around on Discord a lot for us is let's get this bread.
Let's get this bread.
There it is.
We've been saying that a lot in
Yeah.
reference to finishing our assignments, and it's actually funny enough helped a little bit. But yeah,
It had a positive aspect to a situation that we thought was very negative. So
for sure. And it's been great having the Discord because we've all been on it on the same time, like in one of the voice chats. Yeah. And like we just have our microphones muted, so we'd just be working away or listening to music, whatever. And then if someone needs help, they just unmute their microphone and go, hey, not getting this, or can someone help me with this? And then everyone would just jump on going, hey, yeah, like you can do this, or I did it like this. And like, it was just so helpful to not do it by yourself. Like obviously we weren't plagiarizing or anything like that, but it was so good just to have people to talk whenever, at any moment, about doing your assignments, which really helped.
Yeah.
And another thing that which helps for me for dealing with stress, especially with assignments, is I've never really been good at talking or expressing stuff. So I vent through the thing I love, or one of the things I love most, which is just music. So whenever I get really frustrated or feeling a certain way, or I just need to calm down or anything, I'll just like play the drums for an hour or learn something new on an instrument, or like just like play music. And that really helps me to calm me down because it's one of my biggest hobbies and interests. So like, yeah, I'd definitely recommend if you're feeling frustrated or you just need to take a break or something, do what you love, because that usually helps you feel better and stuff. And yeah, it definitely has helped me. So I'd recommend.
Oh yeah, I totally get you with that music thing.
Hit you in the feels.
It does. It does. It's
Mm.
amazing how much of like an emotional impact music can have.
It really is.
And then the other thing that I do is exercise and stuff. For sure, exercise is a big one for me. Yeah, that's some great stuff. The other thing is, we're just to sort of segue. So we talked a lot about like stress and sort of what we do practically with stress and stuff. But you know, we're all Christians. We obviously have God that we can look towards. What does the Bible say about stress and how God can help us and how we should be responding to that?
I'll take it.
Who's going?
Oh, it's great. The eyes. You can just see the eyes dart. You can go. No, I can't think of like a specific story in the Bible about like straight up stress. Like, of course, there was a lot of stressful stories, like people under stress in the Bible, but not one dedicated to it. There's a lot of verses out there that can help. I think that a lot of those verses revolve around God being with you through everything. Like my favorite Bible verse, like in all of the Bible, is Joshua 1:9, which is, "Have I not told you, be strong and courageous, do not be discouraged or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And like that final line, "The Lord your God is with you wherever you go." I mean, he's not there sometimes like, "Hey, I'm gonna go again." No, he's always there. And I find that really encouraging, and I find that like my stress levels go down when I just sit down and pray and go, "Hey, listen, I know you're here. I need some help right now."
Yeah.
And it's always seemed to help me. So yeah.
It's good.
Nice. I can go.
Yeah, so good.
We're getting better. We're getting there.
We'll
We're
work
getting
on
there.
But yeah, one of a verse I found recently, which helped me dealing with my stress and anxiety and stuff, was Isaiah 41 verse 13. It says, "For I, the Lord your God, will..." Wait, is that the right one? Yes, it is. Sorry. It says, "For I, the Lord your God, will hold your right hand, saying to you, fear not, I will help you." And because we know that the Bible speaks truth, and I've held on to that as hope that God is always going to be with us. He always is with us. He lives in our hearts. And it's really helped because sometimes, like Levi was saying, also whenever we feel stressed or frustrated or anything, we can actually just talk to God. And it doesn't have to be one way from us to God, like, God, I feel hopeless, I feel horrible, but like, it can be like, God, what do you want me to do? How can you work through me in this situation? Like, and sometimes I just love talking to God and just talking. Like, I know it seems weird, but I just love talking to God and like talking about the situations that I'm going through. And yeah, that just really helps me.
So good. Yeah, I think a common verse that quite a few people know, like Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Like, you know, through tough times, our mind can start to, you know, we all know there's the devil out there. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And so I think the times that we feel a little thought just pop into our minds like, oh, you're not doing this. Why are you doing this? There's no point to do this. I think a big part where we can just flip the whole thing and say, no, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm in this situation for a reason, to grow and so forth. Like, to pray to God about it and like rely on this verse in times that you do know that like you're doing a certain thing for a reason. Like if you've heard a prophetic word from someone, or if you've like had a sign from God about actually doing a certain thing or going a certain direction, I just say continue to go for it. Like, yeah, the devil's going to chuck temptations at you. He's going to chuck little words into your mind and say, hey, you're not meant to be doing this. Why are you doing this? This is stupid. You're stupid, and so forth. Don't believe that. Go to the Bible. There's a lot of stuff in there, like identity. There's a lot in there about that, and so forth. So, yeah, have a look into it. Definitely.
It's awesome, Ethan.
Amazing. Yeah. One of the verses that's really encouraged me is, I think it's 1 Peter 5, verse 7, and it says, cast all your cares on him because he cares for you. And I think that's something amazing, is that God is actually saying to us, cast all of your cares onto him. And it's sort of like, wow. So oftentimes in our lives, people try and go away from their problems or try and go away from other people's problems, and they try and avoid conflict and try and avoid the difficult questions and things. But then God here is saying, no, all your cares,
Good.
cast onto me. And I find that, you know, amazing when there's stuff in my life that's going downhill or that's not where I want it to be. And, you know, I can just go to God and say, this is what I'm struggling with. And so often there'll be encouragement there. There'll be a verse, there'll be a song, there'll be a word from someone else that's there. And, you know, I think that's so important.
It's good. Yeah, I think just another verse in there, like a big thing when we start to go through times that are tough. For example, if you have an assessment and you're starting to stress about it, if you have left it last minute and you're starting to worry, like the verse Philippians 4 verse 13, it says, you can do, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so in times that we feel weak, God is strong. And so I think a big point, or like to twist our mind to think positive about a situation that maybe flipping our mind onto the negative side of things, is just say and declare that no, I can get through this with God backing me. That you can do anything you can with God with you. You can. There's no boundaries. God's not in a box. Never put God into a box.
Mm.
And so I think the big point is that when we feel weak, he is strong. And so we can rely on him when we're going through tough times. So just rely on that first as well.
I find Philippians 4 to have a few good verses in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Philippians 4:6, it's a good explanation of what we do if we want to talk to God and about our stress. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God.
That is so
It's really
good.
just saying, hey, listen, if you have any stresses, if you're anxious about anything, pray to God, ask him some strength, ask him to help you through it. I just find that awesome and amazing.
100%.
That is so good, Levi.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I think we're almost at time. So we'd just like to encourage any of our listeners that if you have questions, please get in contact with us. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your stories of how you've been going with Corona and isolation and all of that. Please reach out to us. There are a bunch of ways to contact us. I don't know, Ethan, if you want to...
Somebody else want to do it this week?
Somebody
or
else?
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
all
Levi.
right, let's see how you
Hey.
go.
Oh, that's a lot of stress now.
No pressure.
First of all, our website, as Ethan said at the start, will be coming out later this week with our mission statement. And yeah, it should be out. Do we have a set date?
It'll be out Wednesday.
Wednesday. There we go.
We'll
We've
do
got a
it
date,
Wednesday.
guys.
Yeah.
Let's not leave
On
it
that
till last
website,
minute.
we have our podcast, a link to the Discord.
Yeah.
So if you want to get on Discord and have a chat with us, we're always on there, especially right now with Corona happening.
Yeah.
Restrictions.
Right.
So yeah, we're always on there. Feel free to connect with us on there. Give us a call.
We'd love to have a
private
chat.
message
Yeah.
if you want. Yeah, would love to just sit down and chat with you guys about anything. Whether it was like something you heard today, something you want to talk about, something that we can bring up for next one of our podcasts. Like we're open to ideas. Also on that Discord, we have a link to our Minecraft server. But if you don't know of anything about Discord, you don't want to jump on, that will be on a lot of social medias as well of ours. We got our Instagram, our YouTube. Is that it?
The Minecraft IP will be in the descriptions. It's on the Instagram. It's on the Discord. It will be on the website as well.
Sweet. That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
We also probably have it on the link in the description for YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
all the
those who don't
contact
even wanna
details
bother-
will be in the YouTube.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, our website is youthaustralia.xyz. Just chuck that in the chat in the search bar and it should come up. Did I do it, guys?
Nice.
That was beautiful, mate.
Good.
You plugged.
Oh, I don't know.
Ethan,
I think you
sweep
forgot.
up what I've
Well,
missed.
you did well.
I think you forgot the like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Riley needs to take us home with that one.
You know, Riley.
Okay, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.
So good.
In all seriousness, though, there is one more thing I want to quickly add. Like the boys said, there's heaps of ways you can contact us, and there are also a few anonymous ways to contact us if you want. And if you are feeling a little bit stressful or anxious, we would love for you to contact us just so that we can pray for you all together. And really believe that God is going to move through your situation. And yeah, we'd just love to pray for you. We'd love to do that. And so, yeah, you
100%.
can check out the plugs, as Levi said, and contact us. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. We will be releasing the podcast every week. I believe we're going to move it to Saturday. we're going to be releasing?
It'll be on
It'll
Sundays, or it'll be on the weekend.
It'll be on the
Yeah,
weekends.
the
We're
weekend.
just we're still sorting out our upload schedule and
Yeah,
It's been a bit harder, as we said. We've all had assignments,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
we've
Yeah.
had to plan that.
It's been a
along
busy
with-
weekend.
Yeah, our
True.
schedules.
But we love doing this. It is so good that we can be
Yeah.
doing this for you guys. We absolutely love it.
Definitely.
That's right.
Yeah.
This podcast is available on Instagram, YouTube, Anchor.fm, Breaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
So many
and it will
plugs.
be on the website as well. So
are we on Castbox yet as well?
I will have a look into that.
I haven't even heard of
Pretty
half of
much
those.
pretty much anywhere you can get podcasts,
Same.
you'll be able to
Yeah.
find us.
Yeah. The
That's so
video
good.
version though will be on Instagram and YouTube. So you'll actually see our pretty faces.
You'll see our eyes dart between the screens.
Yeah. A lot of the jokes that we
dear.
make will make a lot more sense if you watch the video versions.
Definitely.
Let's just say
especially the sunglasses at the start.
Yeah. Oh dear.
awesome.
This is an awesome episode, boys. It's really
It's been good.
really amazing to do this with you, and hopefully you guys, our wonderful listeners, have enjoyed it as much as we have. Would anyone like to take us out in prayer?
We're doing the dart thing again.
We'll do the dart thingy.
Sure.
Sweet.
All right. So just close your eyes. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's all good. Lord, thank you for the words that you've given us for boys just to speak today, Lord. I pray that the words that we have spoken connect with the other person on the other screen, Lord. That you give them the strength to feel free to contact us if they do need to have a chat, or if they have questions, or if they want us to talk about a certain thing in upcoming weeks. Lord, I thank you for the other person on this camera. I pray that you just bless them, protect them as we continue to go through this season, and that you continue to build them up into the person that you want them to be, Lord. We thank you, and we all said,
Amen.
Amen.
Well,
So good.
I've got my sunglasses out. Are we ready, boys?
All right, let's do it.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.